People, we are live. Welcome in. Oh, shoot. I almost messed my phone up just now. Okay. We are live. I'm having a great time. We just came back from the Amazon. So I want to come in and tell you a couple of stories. My goodness. And I just finished. What's going on there? Is that moving with me? What's that doing? Do you see that? Am I doing that? You see how the background is moving? Okay. Anyway, I don't want to be weird. Anyway, welcome in. I spent a minute talking about nothing just now, but that's great. Um, to the people who are watching the replay, welcome in. I just came back from the Amazon yesterday, so it's a lot of things going on. I'm getting back into my routine. I'm washing my clothes. I'm gonna get lunch in a second because I want to get back into my routine of going live every single day. I've gone live every single weekday for the past 3 months since about February. And I've been connecting with you guys. You guys have been watching from Bulgaria, France, Italy, Switzerland, Australia, New Zealand, Egypt, Jamaica, Trinidad, Suriname, even, and across the US, we have some people from Missouri, etc. So you guys are really, really doing a phenomenal job of showing out, and so I appreciate you guys very much for coming through. Separate from that, though, the Amazon was actually pretty crazy. The craziest story, I think, was crossing the river. So there was this river, and I'll tell you the story pretty briefly. But I want to wait for some more people to come in because um I don't want to have to tell the story multiple times. So I'm gonna wait for some more people to come in. Please, when you get in, tell me where you're watching from because we just came from the Amazon and it was phenomenal. I want to make sure. Would it be better this way or that way? Okay, I don't know which one. I might also feel like I really need a massage because my back has been like it's like a pinch in my back, and I'm not sure what it is. So if you could tell me what it is, that'd be great. However, I am alive and I'm well. The Amazon was fun. I did not drown in the river, and the craziest part was crossing the river that had the strongest current I've ever seen. And just imagine a roaring river, and maybe it's around 30 meters, it's about 100 feet wide. Okay. So I'm standing here, and then let's say, so if I'm standing right here, right? And so where that tree is, that tree is, so I'm crossing from here to that tree, but between me and that tree, it's a roaring river that's rushing down. And you'd think, okay, how would we cross that? So the people who live in the Amazon jungle, they know the river so well that they can direct people across so they know where to step, which is so cool. Is anybody here? Or am I talking to myself? Okay, good. People are here. Um, so they know where to step. Hey, how you doing? Please come in. Tell me where you're watching from. I'm telling you Amazon stories. I just came from the Amazon jungle this weekend. So I'm going to tell you a couple stories. Cool? Cool. So about 100 feet. So from me to that tree right there, except in between me and that tree, there's a roaring river. But the people who live in the Amazon jungle, they know where to step. So there are rocks there, right? There are like dips. There's a couple stand places. There's a couple leaves underneath the waterbed. And so we're stepping, we're following them. I'm from California. That's very cool. You're the third person I've ever had on these lives in the last 3 months from California. Okay, so then we're traveling across, and then we're also holding hands because the current is so strong that if it was to be one of us, and we're all wearing life jackets, but the people from the Amazon are not wearing life jackets, which is actually crazy. Because if you think about it, if the water can rush you away, but they're so confident in what they're doing that they don't wear life jackets and they run across the water. Like we are stepping like this. right? We're stepping like this across the water. But then the people who live in the Amazon, they're running across, skipping across, helping people. They have to go. So it's like maybe 30 of us. They're going to the front, coming back, going to the front, coming back. So then we went across the river once. The people from the Amazon did it like 5 times in that time. They're going back, running across, going back. And it's a roaring river. So then at one point, I'm stepping and I feel my foot slip, right? So I feel my foot slip because you have to remember it's very strong. And I want to go this way, like I'm doing a crab crawl sideways, because I figure if the water is going this way, I can lean forward. Okay. That's what I'm trying to do. But then the water bed has moss on it. So you can't really, it's not like it's a rock where you can get a firm grip like that, right? You can't dig into anything. It's moss. So then all you're doing is this and it's rushing. And then the rain starts falling. The rain starts falling, which means at the top of the mountain, there's a lot of water, which means that extra water is coming down the river. So it's getting heavier and heavier as we are going through the water. All right, cool. So then what happens is, as we start crossing, they tell us, all right, at this point, what you're going to do is that you're going to go that way, swim across. Okay, so then just imagine I'm here, I'm going to jump that way so that I can end up down there. They tell us that it's fine. I have on my life jacket. They don't have on a life jacket. They say, no, it's fine. Jump that way, diagonal, and we're going to catch you. They say that they're gonna catch me. They're gonna catch me if I jump. So then I said, all right, cool. I'm gonna let a couple people do it first. So then I said, all right, let me see what the guys from the Netherlands are gonna do. Two guys do it. One named William, another one named Matthias. They do it. Okay. So I said, all right, you know what? I don't want to be, I don't want to be a, I don't want to be a little, whatever. I don't want to be a wuss, right? I don't want to be scaredy cat. So then I said, all right, you know what? I'm gonna jump in the water. Raging Amazon River. And I jump in and I start swimming for my life. And then I see the guy and I give him eye contact. This is the eye contact I give him. Because I'm like, oh my God, I did not just jump in the river. So then I start swimming. And then you know what? What actually happened? I wasn't too bad. It turns out I'm a better swimmer than I thought. And the life thing, the life jacket actually helps. So I'm swimming, 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 and I'm not going down because I have on a life jacket. So then all I need to do is focus on this. So I'm swimming, swimming, getting tired. And before you know it, I'm actually cross. And then the guy picks me up with one hand. Amazon guy, right? Big, strong guy. This is all they do every day. Just cross the Amazon River. And they boom, picks me up with one hand, puts me on my feet. I'm crossed. I was like, oh my God. We did not just do that. So then we continue. As I said, it's about from here to where that tree is, about 100 feet of just raging water, and we're going across. So then we cross, we go up some more, and then we go up to this path where it's just calm. And I was like, wow, that's beautiful. After all of the rushing, about 100 feet, we go past that tree, we cut around a corner, and then it's just calm. And I was like, this is beautiful. And then there's a slide part. So we go around again, and there's a slide part where we go down. So then we're doing this, and we're sliding down leaves. Super cool. Super cool. The first story, because that was all in one. That was one adventure, and I went on a couple this weekend. So let's see who's here. Where are you watching from? Please tell me where you're watching from. You guys have been fantastic coming in. Nikki, hey, how you doing? Raven, how you doing? Baby girl, how you doing? Colt, how you doing? Carl, King Carl, how you doing? Please tell me where you're watching from. California, we have in here. That's fantastic. I love meeting you guys. As I said, you guys are always subscribing and growing the channel. Uh, as you guys know, the reason why we started this channel and why we're growing this channel is because right now we send two people to Jamaica. We send two people from Jamaica to college every year, two scholarships. And with your help, we can actually send 4, 5, 10 people. And it makes sense because if YouTube gets money, then we can use that money to send more kids to college. And you're the ones helping us to do that. So right now we have two, and I think we can get up to 4 by the end of the year. So please subscribe, help us do that. Okay. Okay. So the next adventure, right? Um, and as I said, you know, I was then there for the entire weekend. The next adventure. So as we're coming back from that waterfall, the guy in the boat, and remember the boat, okay, let's talk about the boat because you remember we're in the middle of a river and you would expect that we'd have a decent sized boat for the river. And we're doing maybe around 2.5 hours, 3 hours of just being in the boat. Okay. 2.5 hours of just being in the boat. Now you think that you'd want a big boat so that you can actually, you know, no, move this slightly, put you guys up here and bear from 1 second. Okay. So you'd think, right, that you would want the boat to be big enough to carry, you know, all 30 people. That's not the case. The boat that we were on was about this size, which means I can literally touch both sides of the boat with my hands. It's from, so there's two people to a seat. So I'm sitting here and someone is sitting here and I can touch both sides of the boat. And there's like, so it's like one of those rowboats. And we're in a rowboat for 2.5 hours. This is what the Amazon, right? This is what it's like. So remember, there's no roads going into the Amazon. So you only get there boat. You see what I'm saying? So then we get to the dock, we unload everything, we load it onto the small boats, small rowboats, and then we're going into the Amazon for 2 hours, 3 hours on a boat. As we're coming back from the waterfall, which is the story I just told you, the guide says to me, we are going to come back in the afternoon so that we can do water sports. at the Waterfall. Oh my God. So I asked him, what water sports are we doing? He said, we're going swimming right there. And we're also going to do one of those, I don't know what you call that, where they ride the boat and then you're behind and they hold on to the circular things that they don't fall off. What do you call that? What do you call that sport? Somebody help me. When you're behind the boat and you're holding on for dear life. What do you call that? Who's that? Vincent? Vincent, good to see you. I think I know that person. Vincent, have you been here before? If so, say yes. So we're behind the boat, right? Now, this is a waterfall and this is the middle of a river, which means that there's a current in the water. Remember, we still have on life jackets, but there's a current in the water. Okay, that's no problem. Welcome to the community, Vincent. Just to catch you caught up, the reason why we're doing this channel, mechanical bull. No, 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 that's not what it is. Okay, so we're in the water. I get what you're saying. Not that. We're in the water and we have to hold on like this, and the boat is dragging us through the water. What do you call that? Okay, if you can tell me what that is, I don't remember what it's called. However, it's a water sport, and we have to hold on. Okay, and so we're being dragged in the water, and there's a current in the water. We all have on life jackets, and we're going 3 by 3 by 3. And the guide says, no, we have to switch to two because people kept falling off. And he got pissed because there was another guy that was supposed to come on and catch the people who were falling off the water. But then they went away, they were slacking off. So then now he started shouting at people. And then that was funny because just imagine a big, strong, muscular guy that lives in the Amazon for a living, shouting at people in another tongue that I don't understand. And I'm looking at them like, oh, this is crazy. This is crazy. So then eventually people start going, and then it was the most beautiful sunset. Just imagine you're in the middle of the Amazon, beautiful sunset, and then what you're doing is holding on for dear life at the back of a speeding boat. That's an experience that, you know, is phenomenal. And then before that, I'll tell you another story. This is my third story. So there's a hike. There's a hike across the river. So we stayed on an island, and the island is maybe about maybe 50 feet wide. It's a small island, 50 feet wide and maybe 300 feet long. Okay. Mm, maybe 150 feet long. Okay. It's that small. and it's only around 40 of us on the island, and it felt pretty crowded. Okay, so it's a good size island, a decent size group for a small island, is what I'm saying. Now, across the river from the island, there's a hike path that you go to, and the hike that we're going to is a place called Pineapple Mountains. Now, I don't know if you know this, but pineapples are typically grown in the tropical climate. Okay. So then you're going, and now you're starting to see a mountain. And then once you start to smell pineapples, you're like, oh, the pineapples are actually growing out of the rocks in the mountains, which is amazing because pineapples are supposed to grow in the ground. They're growing out of the rocks because the rock. So you're climbing up, and then you start seeing rock, and then you see pineapples, which is phenomenal. But then along that path, that was maybe a 90-minute hike through the Amazon rainforest. Now think about this. The Amazon rainforest is one of the most dangerous places in the world because there are animals there, there are snakes, there are jaguars, there are spiders, so many things that can kill you. And it's 30 of us going through no protection. Okay. Then at one point, the guy's name is a young kid, right? They do this maybe several times a day, and he's like 12. And then he says in another language to a guide, another guide, hey, I saw jaguar tracks. He saw jaguar tracks in the ground. So jaguar footprints in the ground. And it was raining, which means that the jaguar footprints were fresh. He saw them. Now I was at the front, so I heard it. Everybody behind me didn't hear it. No, we were fine. Obviously, I'm still here. We didn't get attacked by a jaguar. But just imagine being in the middle of nowhere, your closest family is thousands of miles away, and the person in front of you says, there are jaguars close by. Man, such a crazy experience, man. Such a crazy experience. And then, so continuing, there was another couple of insects that when you clap, they react to sound. I guess it's like worms, and they have sensors on them that react to sound. So they twitch. So then just imagine a worm doing this whenever you clap. So you clap, and it does that. Very cool, right? Or you can shout, or you can, snap your finger or whatever, but it reacts to the sound. I think it's so cool because picture this, the spectrum of rays, right? You have X rays, you have gamma rays, so many different rays. And all we can see is red through violet. We are seeing this much of the world. And animals can sense so much more. They can sense X-rays, they can sense the rain, they can sense sound waves and so many other things. And all we can do is see this and pick up audio, right? And our sense of hearing isn't even that good. It's incredible how much of the world we don't experience, even though we're here in it. Because you see animals that can instinctively know these things, but we can't even sense it. Just imagine if, for example, we could see radio waves. Look how many radio waves there are in the world, or we could see Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. Imagine if we could see that, but we can't. But they exist, and there are animals that can see them, or sense them, or pick them up somehow. And I think that's really cool to think about. At least it makes. I think it's cool to think about. You know, I think it's very cool to think about. But yeah, the Amazon jungle was phenomenal, phenomenal. Um, if there's one thing that you know that I do on the channel, is that we travel, and I will tell you the stories that I see. We also did a Suriname dance, a traditional Suriname dance, where they brought out the drums, Surinamese dance. They brought out the drums, and we were learning how to do the with the feet too, because we had to. Right? Um, but that was fun. And I post the videos here on YouTube as well so that you can see them. And I'll also post those videos on my Instagram so that you can see them as well. But we did a traditional dance as well. And I also have a video of the island. So I did an entire video of the island so you can see that too. But I'm telling you, man, enough of time, it was just really, really cool. Really, really cool. It's an experience I'll never forget. Anyway, if you're here, tell me where you're watching from. Vincent was here. I'm not sure if Vincent left already, but we had a couple of people here from California. We had a couple of people here from Egypt. As I was telling you about the Amazon experience, it was literally crazy. It was one of those things that I crossed off my bucket list. If you want to ask me a question about Amazon, feel free. It was hot, it was humid. I can't believe I got to do it. And I can't wait until the next adventure because I will be doing more. I will be doing more. Absolutely. Tell me where you're watching from. Tell me where you're watching from. Or if you want to ask me a question about the Amazon, ask me a question about myself. I just came from the gym, so I've been doing that too. But if not, I'm going to end this live in a couple of minutes because I've been live for around 20 minutes now. Otherwise, if you're here and you want to ask me a question, feel free. I do this live so that we can connect and engage. I've been going live every day for the last 3 months. So feel free. Just came from the Amazon yesterday. That was phenomenal. This channel has been going really, really fast. And so thank you to you guys who are watching and consistently tuning. You guys mean a lot to me. And I really want to continue to give you guys value, which is why I go live, which is why I continue to make content because you guys push me very much. All right. So if there's no questions, then let me show you one thing. I'll show you my view. And yeah, that's where I'm watching from. Another day we can come back and we can talk about money or we can talk about relationships or any of that. But today was a recap on Amazon. I see more people coming in now, but I was just about to end the live. Should I end the live or should I keep talking? I'm getting kind of tired. I just came from the gym and it's almost lunchtime. It hurts. Might play some tennis today. All right. No questions then? Nobody want to tell me where they're watching from? Should I just end the live? All right. Peace out, guys.